Hi, Lovebunnies. I hope you guys all doing so well. Welcome back to the Beauty House. Today we are gonna discuss yet again another little uproar in the beauty community. I know if you guys would like to hear what that is and my thought process and take on it, be sure to continue to keep on watching. So in the beauty community right now, there is a little bit of an uproar because the makeup artist as well as the makeup brand owner named Charlotte Tilbury has come out with a statement. Well, pretty much it's an interview, but I wasn't able to find the full interview in its entirety. I'm only seeing this snippet that is going around, in which she is discussing her thought process on makeup brands that dupe her brand and just brands in general. And her opinion, I don't know if I'd say it's a strong opinion. I can see how some would view it that way, but quite a few people have to consider social media to give their thought process and 2 cents about it. Now, I'm not going to have her words or her video in it because I'm still trying to work out how the copyright and how to put those kind of clips in a video and not have it be flagged for copyright infringement. So I'm not. But in it, pretty much the reporter asked her about dupes, and her thoughts were, one, when you dupe a product, you're duping the consumer. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Her being a brand owner and a businesswoman, of course, that would be your viewpoint, right? You wouldn't want no one to dupe your product because you want them to come to you and consume from you. Completely understandable. But what I think where she missed the mark with that is, just because something costs more or you're charging more for it doesn't necessarily mean that it is a better product. Because another argument and another take could be that because these higher end brands or these more luxury brands are pricing and charging the way that they are, to some capacity, that's a dupe, right? Because if you look at ounces compared to dollar amount, sometimes it doesn't make sense. You're not getting enough product to justify the price of something. And if the justification will be because of the packaging, then come on, there's more than one way to skin a cat, as they would say, right? So that's one way to look at it. So I definitely disagree to some capacity with that thought process. On the other hand, I can understand as to why she says you're duping the consumer. I would only agree to that fact if the brands that are duping are not being honest and truthful on their labels as well as on their ingredients. To me, that's where a big issue would be when it comes to duping. Claiming that it does something and it doesn't do it. That's a dupe, right? That's now pretty much lying. That's my 2 cents on that statement when she discusses about duping. Right. So the interviewer asked her another question about people who don't have a lot of money but still want to clearly look put together when they walk out and face the world. And she says, they have a sort of Charlotte Tilbury-esque. Now, Charlotte Tilbury's response pretty much was, that's it, it's an esque, is not Charlotte Tilbury. Now, I've done my research. I've seen pretty much these brands that are duping and they're not on my level, pretty much. She's like, but if you could do it, then try. And she also added that if she could do her products and create them for a fraction of her prices, she would. Like, let's be real here. Let's break all the way down. I have never tried Charlotte Tilbury's product at all. I'm gonna be very honest with you. So I can't say from a consumer's point of view, yes, her products are amazing, or no, her products aren't amazing. I can't. But I do own, I want to say 2 products right now that we can say is a dupe. So this MCO Beauty Flawless Glow, this is a dupe for her. I think she has, I'm going to insert the pictures of what this is a dupe for. And I like this Give the Glow. It does exactly what it needs to do, as it claims that it does. As well as her setting spray, again from the same brand, MCO Beauty, and this is a dupe for her infamous setting spray. Now, these both do what I need them to do. This sets my makeup. It lasts me for hours, and of course, you guys know I always utilize this in combination with another one that I have from another brand, and it works and it does exactly what it needs to do. When brands say that, or pretty much her to be exact, if she could make and produce it for the fraction of the price, she would. I'm going to have to disagree with that statement. I'm going to say I don't find that statement to be true. The fact that you have been in business for as many years as you have, I would assume you've made quite a bit of money hand over fist, to where you're always in the process of doing R&D, which is research and development, which means you also should always be looking into how can we get down the prices so our margins look better, to it still makes sense for the consumer as well as for our business, right? So I really would disagree with her saying if I could make it for these prices, I would. No, you want to keep it at those prices because let's be real here. You want your brand to look as though and possibly feel luxury. That's why you have them priced the way that you have them priced. But her products aren't unique. And I say that because, especially packaging, these literally, and I'm going to insert pictures, these literally look like hers. So again, your packaging isn't anything that's unique. People do say that her brand is the most dupeable brand in comparison to other brands that these brands do dupe. So again, you're not providing or giving anything that's so special and so specially formulated to where it's like, no, I'm climbing up mountains, I'm fighting bears to find these specialized ingredients. You're not doing that. Right? Just be honest and say you cater, or you prefer to cater to a certain demographic or a certain tax bracket. That's why you have it priced the way that you have it priced. Just say that. You know, instead of making it seem as though you don't have the resources or you can't provide these items at a reasonable price for the average consumer. That's definitely not true. If we look at these ingredients, majority of these ingredients are the same, which is exactly why when you get a high-end brand of a makeup product and you compare it to a dupe of that product, if it's pretty much the same ingredients, it's the same ingredients. It's just a different name, you know? And so I can completely understand as to why the average consumer, as well as beauty lovers, have their opinions and thought that it kind of was not okay, her statement. You know, like I said in the beginning, she is the business, she is the brand owner, so of course she's gonna say whatever she needs to say to have and place her brand in such a great light, and as though the dupe is not better than the original. I completely understand that, but let's be real here. Every single thing in this life is duped. Like, that's just what it is. And honestly, it's a compliment, right? You should want to feel, you know what, if it's dupeable, I have no issues with that. You know why? Because at the end of it all, some consumers are still going to consume mine because they want to do a compare and contrast. That's actually a compliment, you know? And at the end of it all, either they are going to love your product and be a consumer of your product, or just love dupes and be consumers of dupes. As you guys know on my channel, and I said it to you before, until they find me and they say, hey, Lena, we want to send you PR, I'm not spending money or top dollar or even my last dollar or my first dollar on higher end makeup brands. I'm just not doing it. I've seen too many videos about products costing $50, $60, and you do a swipe and it looks like nothing but dust, and it doesn't even have pigmentation. It doesn't last long. It's not a lot of product. Like, I'm not doing that. And again, I think that you can look beautiful and feel empowered and look well put together, even with drugstore brands. And the thing about it, when it comes to drugstore brands, they also do have a hand in these larger brands. And that's what you do as a business. That's how you monopolize. Have it to where, okay, I'm going to produce things for this clientele, right? For this person in this tax bracket. But you also do what? Make another brand that's affordable, if you want to call it that. You make that for your drugstore, have it be not as high end, but still producing great quality. You're still making money. That's how you monopolize, right? So again, L'Oreal, maybe all these brands, majority are umbrella underneath each other, but at the same time, they have hands in these bigger brands that we consume. So, and at the very same time, these drugstore brands or these inexpensive brands also completely understand the fact that majority of people, your average person, can't afford to spend X amount of dollars on Charlotte Tilbury or any other high-end luxury brands. So even their formulas got better, even their packaging got better, even their science and technology behind what they do have gotten better, which is why their numbers are going crazy. You know, they understand that. And again, that's when it comes to research and development about your brand, what consumers like, what's trending, all of these things. And that's how you continue to produce and get better. That's why most of these brands now, the drugstore brands, is back on top when it comes to people consuming their products, because they know that it's getting better in formulation. And I'm pretty sure they have done a good amount of research on packaging, on ingredients, on product, on formulation, and still be able to produce the way that they produce and still have it out into the world at a fraction of the price that's still affordable. So, Miss Charlotte Tilbury, you definitely can produce your products for a fraction of the price. Just say that you choose not to. Simple as that. But that's my little 2 cents. And who am I? You guys know, like I said, I love to buy my drugstore brands, honey. Okay, they haven't done me wrong yet, and I absolutely love all the products that I try. That's why I always show you guys my products, and some of you guys know at this point it's a staple that I do use. You know, I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to spending top dollar, I will spend top dollar on skincare though. I love makeup, and you guys know that, but skincare, as I always tell you guys, is the number one. So I would spend top dollar on skincare. Absolutely. Before a foundation, before a primer, before a sunscreen, before a palette. Because makeup is just what it is, right? You put it on, you feel beautiful, you feel amazing, you want to emphasize certain things, but when you take it off, it is your skin, your bare skin. That's what truly needs to shine through and be in the best health as it can be. So that's my little 2 cents. And if you guys would like, I'm probably going to have a link in my description to her exact words of what she said. And again, it's a snippet of that video. So thank you guys for taking a part of your day and choosing to share it with little old me. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend. Tell a friend. If you guys like this little makeup look, the Ujaz number, it is on my TikTok as a short, as well it will be in my shorts section if you guys would like to see this look. And if you extra like it, I might recreate it for you guys. It's a very simple look. Thank you guys so much for always supporting, and I greatly appreciate it. We're slowly growing, and I thank you guys so much. As I always say, the true foundation of beauty starts from within. Makeup is just the cherry. Makeup is just the cherry on top. Thank you guys so much, and I love you until next time. Mwah.